जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना वनचारी यमुना वनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरान्निताय जय गौरान्निताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद हरे कृष्णा so does anyone remember what was done in the previous class for that matter previous chapter so previous chapter the fourth chapter had two basic themes if we can say that anybody remembers what they are who can speak if you have to divide the chapter logically in kind of sections of verses how will you divide that chapter
Prabhu, initially the chapter starts with the questions of Parikshit Maharaj.
correct
And then from 12th onwards, these are the stutis of Shukdev Goswami to
correct
Krishna before he starts delivering the explanation to what Parikshit Maharaj has asked.
correct exactly and if you would have noticed he did not answer even a single question of Maharaj Parikshit in the fourth chapter itself.
Yes.
So from the first verse till I think ninth or 10th verse, I think, yeah, 10th verse. Yeah, Maharaj Parikshit is only asking questions and requesting Shukadev Goswami to answer them about the creation, about the energies, about the way he conducts himself and the soul and the super soul, and so many questions are asked here. And when Shukadev Goswami starts speaking from the 12th verse onwards, he is only offering obeisances, doing namaskar to Shri Krishna from various perspectives. Because he is the controller of the material and spiritual world, because he is the controller of the modes of material nature, because he is the controller of all the energies. Yeah, meaning from various perspectives, and all perspectives relate to the answers that he is going to give subsequently. So, meaning many actually, I'm sure Jaigovind Prabhu and Radhapat Pankaj Prabhu and everybody have spoken about this, but just to summarize, various learnings can be actually drawn out of the way Shukadev Goswami starts answering. many a times, especially because we gather knowledge, most of our knowledge is material knowledge, and we gather this through people who themselves are not perfect. They only teach us knowledge. They do not teach us how to behave once we have this knowledge. If you would have, if you remember, in the 18th verse of the 5th chapter, Krishna says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Shoni Chaivashva Pakacha Pandita Samadarshina. So the key point was Vidya Vinaya Sampanna, meaning he doesn't say by just knowledge. Sampanna is to be full with. Full with what? Vidya and Vinay. Krishna does not say Vidya alone, which is knowledge. He says Vinaya, that is humility also. To think about that knowledge as not the one which is created by us in itself is humility. To think that this knowledge, meaning, let's say, for example, somebody may have invented something, let's say computers, for example, and if he becomes proud about inventing computers, then it is understandable. Okay, he is the one who invented and he brought it out to the whole world. So that's why he is proud. But this particular knowledge is not created or invented by people like us. So after this, when we know that we are not the creators of this knowledge, on what basis can we be proud about it? On what basis can we become arrogant with the knowledge that we have now? So Krishna is saying Vidya Vinaya Sampanna. So Shukadev Goswami is practically demonstrating that the Vinay here. So he is considered as 12 Mahajans, which is confirmed by Yamaraj in the sixth canto. And he knows it very well. Okay, that he is being considered as Mahajan. But despite that, he does not have even a tinge of ego or arrogance or pride, because of which, he can skip directly to the answers. One excellent example comes in is in Chaitanya Charitamrut. So Chaitanya Charitamrut, as you may be aware, is the complete life story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, that book has been written by somebody known as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he started writing when he was in his extremely old age. And that too, he did not write by himself as a kind of, wanting some kind of honor for himself. That's why he said, okay, I will write even without anybody asking me. Because the acharyas during that period knew that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has learnt a lot about Mahaprabhu, and he is the only person who knows about Mahaprabhu as maximum as possible. That's why they requested him not once but many times to write about Mahaprabhu. After which he took it upon himself and then he wrote it. But in the first chapter, except for the first 5-6 verses when he describes about Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu in one single line, after that almost 20 odd verses, he only does namaskar to his Guru Parampara, Mahaprabhu, Panchatattva and everybody. That actually shows the level of humility that a person possesses and the right frame of mind when, writing such important books. And that is precisely what Shukadev Goswami is demonstrating here. So not even meaning, look at this, he offers it from almost verse number 12 till almost 15-17. It's only starting with, let me offer my respectful obeisances. And then he's, appreciating the qualities of the Lord. And then he goes on to give the answer, but not his version of the answer. Although he is a Mahajan and a highly knowledgeable person by himself, he is not giving the answer in his own words. He is telling that this question was asked by Narad Muni to Brahmaji. And that answer is what he is now going to give us, starting from this 5th chapter. Okay. In the first 8 verses, which we are going to study today, it is about Narad Muni asking these questions to Brahma. So the purports are small, and we may be able to finish a bit early also. Before we move on to the 5th chapter, does anyone have any question until whatever has been discussed so far? No. So okay, let's start off. So Canto 2, chapter 5, verse number 1. Narada Uvacha Deva Deva Namastestu Bhuta Bhavana Purvaja Tad Vijanihi Yajnanam Atma Tattva Nidarshanam. Somebody can read the translation.
Shri Narad Muni asked Brahmaji, O chief amongst the demigods, O first-born living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of the individual soul and the super soul. Purport. The perfection of the parampara system or the path of disciplic succession is further confirmed. In the previous chapter, it has been established that Brahmaji, the first-born living entity, received knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord, and the same knowledge was imparted to Narad, the first disciple. Narad asked to receive the knowledge, and Brahmaji imparted it upon being asked. Therefore, asking for transcendental knowledge from the right person and receiving it properly in the regulation of the disciplic succession. This process is recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The inquisitive student must approach a qualified spiritual master to receive transcendental knowledge by surrender, submissive inquiries, and service. Knowledge received by submissive inquiries and service is more effective than knowledge received in exchange of money. A spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from Brahma and Narad has no demand for dollars and cents. A bona fide student has to satisfy him by sincere service to obtain knowledge of the relation and nature of the individual soul and the super soul. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now he is first talking about, meaning this is the first question he is asking to Brahma. Do you know any relationship between Narad Muni and Brahma? What is the relationship?
Narad is son of Brahma.
Yeah, but we did not read about this, right? In the 4th chapter and the 5th chapter of, even in the 6th chapter of first canto, it wasn't mentioned anywhere. So where do we read this, or how is it confirmed? Narad Muni was the son of the maid servant, right? Then how did he become the son of Brahma? Any idea?
No, Prabhu.
No.
No.
Okay, so Narad Muni basically was a son of maid servant. Then he gave up that body and he received a transcendental body. Okay, Narad Muni, from one perspective, is the Lord himself, an avatar of the Lord. Does anyone remember where is it mentioned that Narad Muni is the avatar of Lord? We studied this.
Yes, Prabhu. In Canto 1, chapter 7
Yes.
or 8.
Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Here, Narad Muni has been mentioned. Yeah. In the millennium of rishis, the personality of Godhead accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narad, who is a great sage among the demigods. Yeah. So, but his mic is on. Prabhu, Rakesh Prabhu. Okay, thank you.
So sorry, I was saying chapter 10 as well, right?
Chapter 10, Bhagavad Gita, yes, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Devarshi Naradas Tatha, yes, correct. Thank you. So now, Narad Muni, once he, when the destruction of this material world happens, okay, there are multiple destructions that happen, which we will learn in the 12th canto, I think 2nd or 3rd chapter. the four destructions that happen of this material world, the fourth is the final destruction, which is meaning at that time even Brahma also gives up his body. But for the first three destructions, okay, okay, the first destruction is a kind of a partial destruction. So for the second and third destruction, Narad Muni enters the body of Brahma, remains there for a while, and then he comes out again into the world. So because of this, Narad Muni is considered as the son of Brahma. And because of their relationship of guru and disciple, they are considered from that relationship also. So now from that relationship perspective, Narad Muni is asking Brahma. So another question, how is Narad Muni related to us physically or Brahma related to us physically? Anybody?
Krishna Prabhu, Brahmaji is the first jiva on the planet.
Okay, fair enough. And one more relationship is there.
Guru Shishya Parampara.
Yes. How is it?
We are Gaudiya Vaishnavas,
Yes.
and he's the beginner of Lord Brahma. Then passed his knowledge to Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni passed knowledge to successive
Yes.
teachers, and from there to Srila Prabhupada, and from there to us.
Yes, perfect, Mataji, perfect. So we are in the parampara named as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. How does it mean? Brahma is Brahma himself. So from Brahma, Narad Muni receives the knowledge. Narad Muni gave it to Vyasdev. Vyasdev gave it to Madhvacharya. And because Vyasdev had multiple disciples and Vyasdev gave knowledge of multiple Vedas to multiple disciples. So which specific stream that we come from is denoted by Madhvacharya. So Madhvacharya is Madhva, Brahma Madhva and Gaudiya Sampradaya. So starting from, from the point of Madhvacharya and until I think the 27th or 28th, meaning Krishna himself came down as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he took Diksha from Ishwarpuri. And because until then also many factions were created. That's why we further recognize ourselves as Gaudiya Sampradaya, meaning Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also known as Gauranga, meaning Gaura. Gaura is the golden color of the body. So in certain places like Bengal or Orissa, the alphabet R is pronounced as D also. That's why Gaura became Gauda. And of Gauda, meaning from the line of Gauda, that's why Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So with this way also we are related with Narad Muni and Brahmaji. Okay, so now what Narad Muni is doing, he is asking first question. So first, before asking a question, what is he doing? He is offering his namaskar, respectful namaskar to him, right? What does this teach us? Okay, we've learned about this one, right? Material knowledge can allow you, or material knowledge can be obtained by paying money to an institute, going and sitting in the class. Let's say if there are 10 students in the class and when the teacher enters, it's possible that either none of them get up and greet the teacher, or it may be possible that 9 of them get up but you don't get up. In such a scenario also, the teacher will teach you, and the teacher, whatever he teaches, you may even still understand, but and nobody may even object to it, but that is because it is material knowledge. But spiritual knowledge does not get into our head by this kind of approach towards the guru. Okay, why? That we will see. Okay, there are two primary reasons to it. So first reason is this knowledge is actually the entity of knowledge is under the control of Krishna himself. Which verse confirms this? Any idea? It is in Bhagavad Gita. Anybody? Rakesh Prabhu?
No, great.
So 15th chapter, 15th verse. Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo vedantakrut veda videva chaham. Sorry. Sarvasya chaham rudisannivishto mattah smrutir jnanam apohanam cha. So mattah, from me, what comes? Smruti, jnan and apohanam. Smruti is memory, jnan is knowledge, and apohanam is forgetfulness. So Krishna is telling us that if the knowledge is entering into your brain, it is only because I am the controller of it and I have taken a decision that so and so amount of knowledge or so and so topic of knowledge should enter your brain. Okay. But again, knowledge getting into our brain doesn't necessarily mean that we will be able to take the right decision, right? So an example would be a thief knows that it is wrong to steal because of XYZ reasons. You may get punishment, it may be a sin or whatever it is. But despite that, he commits. So which means knowledge is there, but he doesn't have the necessary intelligence to not perform the action. So Krishna, being the controller of knowledge, if we approach our guru for obtaining spiritual knowledge with pride, with arrogance, with ego, with lot of disrespect, with zero humility, okay, what is Krishna going to do? He may not first of all give us the knowledge. If at all he gives it, he will not give the necessary intelligence. And if at all the intelligence has been given, the inclination to take the right decision will not come to us. So the gatekeeper is Krishna here of how much knowledge should enter and what should happen with the knowledge. So that's why spiritual knowledge is not something by which you can buy like material knowledge from the market. Now, that's why the prayers of any disciple towards the guru always start, meaning before receiving the knowledge, it always starts with a prayer. It always starts with namaskar. We first of all surrender ourselves to him. We tell him that we acknowledge that I am in a fallen condition. I acknowledge that I need to get knowledge, and other than you, I do not see any source who can give me the right knowledge. I am falling at your feet. Okay, please accept me. So with this, it may actually give a negative impression that the guru is a very egoistic person, kind of a person who only after his ego is satisfied will he impart the knowledge to us. That is possible for wrongly thinking in this way, but that is actually not the case. Because the knowledge is important, because the knowledge is valuable, guru wants to see our sincerity towards actually accepting and implementing this knowledge in our life. Guru does not want to waste time on us if we are only trying to obtain this knowledge from the perspective of academic growth. He doesn't want us to roam around in the society stating that I know Bhagavad Gita, I know Bhagavatam, and I do not behave in the manner Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam instructs. I am only here to display my knowledge. He doesn't want that to happen. So only when we are sincere will we be sincere in obtaining knowledge, will we be sincere in implementing that as well. And that actually reflects in the way we conduct, in the way we request this knowledge from the guru. So if you remember, there are two verses in Bhagavad Gita which display these characteristics about how one should approach a guru. Anybody knows which are they? कौन बताएगा? नहीं? So one of the turning points of Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 4, verse number.
This is about when Krishna tells about surrendering to Guru, right?
Yes.
What was that verse? I forgot.
Tadvidhi pranipatena
Tadvidhi
pariprashnena
pranipatena
sevaya.
pariprashnena sevaya.
Upadekshanti te jnanam.
Upatyakshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina.
Yes. So what is Krishna saying? Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively. That is point number one. Render service unto him. That is point number two. Okay. Then the self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Now, the key point to be understood here is pranipatena and pariprashnena. Okay. And sevaya, sorry. So the pranipatena is basically to approach and surrender unto him. Sevaya is to render service to him. And pariprashnena is to ask, meaning have submissive inquiries. And a similar stuff is displayed by Arjun in verse number 7. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhavah pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So pruchhami, so he is inquiring, yeah. Then he is acknowledging his condition, that he is dharma sammudha chetaha. Then he is saying, I have become your disciple and I surrender unto you, prapannam. And please tell me. Okay. So these are the qualities Arjun also displays while before obtaining the knowledge from Krishna. So that's why two key points that are coming out of this verse is firstly disciplic succession, which we will talk about now in a while, and the manner in which you approach the Guru. So after speaking about this manner, let's look at just the point about disciplic succession. We all know about it, but just a kind of a summary stuff. So why is it important to obtain knowledge from a parampara system? Who can answer? Partially this answer was given by the Lord in one of the verses that we read just now.
Because they have seen the truth, so they can
Yes.
say the right thing.
Yes. And how they have seen the truth, meaning, for example, if let's say I have approached my Guru has accepted me as a disciple, but my Guru is still in this material world.
So from
But
a
he is
parampara
Guru's
perspective, the
parampara.
hierarchy leads till the god, right?
Yes, exactly. Because he has accepted this truth from his spiritual master who has seen the truth. And that way the line goes up, 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 up until Brahmaji, who is the first spiritual master of our parampara. Yeah. Then there are 3-4 methods by which you obtain knowledge. Okay, so one is a deduction. Because A happened, that's why B has happened. That doesn't necessarily mean, like if you have learned data science and machine learning, causation doesn't mean correlation, meaning just because A caused B doesn't mean B and A correlate with each other. So deduction theory is what it is called as, yeah. But it has its lot of drawbacks and proven by science so far. Then there are methods that you hear from somebody, which is what the disciplic succession is. Yeah. Otherwise, you do experiments and then come to a conclusion, or otherwise you just speculate. It could be so and so, like Darwin's theory. Yeah. He may have done his own analysis as what he says, but it is more of a speculation. Yeah. Because XYZ seems to be so, that's why I'm reaching to a conclusion of ABC. The other one is experiment, but experiments have their own drawbacks, that the parameters which you are able to think about are the only parameters which are brought into the experiment. The other parameters, you do not know how they will actually play a role in your experiment. So that's why the person who has created the spiritual and the material world, who has created the material elements, and because of those material elements, the one who has created these physical bodies and the mind, intelligence, ego, that person will know the best about, more than anybody, about the body, about the human being, about our subtle energies also. Such a person, when he gives knowledge to somebody about human body and what is our objective of human life, then we just have to take it as it is. Prabhupada used to give an example of an engineer. Because he has designed the car, he is the one who knows most about it, more than anyone else. So if he imparts his knowledge to somebody, it has to be more than what others can provide. So similarly, because Krishna, when he says Aham Sarvasya Prabho Matta Sarvam Pravartate, being the creator of spiritual and material world, he is the one who will have the best of the knowledge. And when he passes it on to Brahmaji and Narad Muni and Vyasdeva and subsequently comes to us, we obviously understand whom should we believe. Hare Krishna. We'll move on to the next verse. Yadrupam yadhishtanam yatah srishtamidam prabho yat samstham yat param yatcha tat tattvam vada tatvatah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Translation. My dear father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifest world. What is its background? How is it created? How is it conserved? And under whose control is all this being done? Purport. The inquiries of Narada Muni on the basis of factual cause and effect appear very reasonable. The atheists, however, put forward many self-made theories without any touch of cause and effect. The manifested world, as well as the spirit soul, is still unexplained by the godless atheists through the medium of experimental knowledge, although they have put forward many theories manufactured by their fertile brains. Contrary to such mental speculative theories of creation, however, Narada Muni wanted to know all the facts of creation in truth and not by theories. Transcendental knowledge regarding the soul and the super soul includes knowledge of the phenomenal world and the basis of its creation. In the phenomenal world, three things are factually observed by any intelligent man: the living beings, the manifested world, and the ultimate control over them. The intelligent man can see that neither the living entity nor the phenomenal world are creations of chance. The symmetry of creation and its regulative actions and reactions suggests the plan of intelligent brain behind them. And by genuine inquiry, one may find out the ultimate cause with the help of one who knows them factually. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Shloka, thank you so much, Gauri. So, many times when we have some discussion around the creation as a topic with especially atheists, meaning people of other religions also believe in God, and they believe that this is a creation is a product of God. But when we talk about this with atheists, they actually come to the Big Bang theory. And meaning the Big Bang theory has its own flaws in itself, which they are unable to explain. And the general approach that people take when they are unable to answer certain questions is scientists are working on it. If not now, but maybe a decade or two or 100, 200, 300 years later, we will be able to find out. So I don't have the answer today, but I will know the answer tomorrow. But despite not having an answer today with me, I am still going not to believe you, but I will believe the scientists. That is the approach they are taking. Just one moment. No? One moment. Sorry. When this is discussed, like the one of the common points that they talk about is, uh, there were meaning kind of big lump of mass was there, and suddenly because of the energy and because of the extra heat and all that, the explosion happened, and then the universe was created. Then automatically the question comes up as to where did that mass come from? How was it existing even before the creation of the world? For that, there is no answer. Fine. How did the energy get created? Because energy is said to be neither created nor destroyed, right? How did that exist? And why did it suddenly enter into the mass? No answer to that. Fine. Now let's talk about the design behind this one. Yeah, we understand, right, that our body has a lot of parts and all of them work in tandem with each other. How is it that every body, every human body, or for that matter every species, eats and then produces waste, how the digestion happens. Yeah, today we cannot produce a single machine which will differentiate oxygen from air without using kind of big equipments. It's not possible. So if so is the case, how is it that my nose and my stomach and lungs are able to take only oxygen from the air? How is it that it is happening? How is the digestion happening? How is it that a minor touch that happens to when any of my portions of the body is able to send signals to the brain, then the brain processes. The mind is so subtle, people are not able to even see. But how is the mind functioning? How is it able to think? So many things are there. The defense mechanism of plants and small insects and all that. Absolutely something which is impossible to be created out of chance, out of some kind of accident. Yeah, there has to be a designer behind such an intelligent design. Scientists have not identified a single object created automatically, okay, without any brain behind it. The computer, the mobile, the automobiles, the rocket science, everything has a brain behind it. But when it comes to the human body, we admit, okay, we learn in the textbooks that it is created out of chance. One of the teachers of my son's class told, there was a big sea, and in that sea a big explosion happened, and from that life was created. We have not come across a single material object which can create life. Even if the objects, before the energy came into the picture, if they were to strike with each other, or even if the energy were to make the objects strike with each other and create an explosion and create the universe out of it, how can life get created out of matter? Matter can create matter, even if you assume for some reasons, but matter cannot create life. And keeping all these technical reasons and points aside, even if you look at it in this way, you may be able to understand how the universe, how the material world was created. You may be able to understand. But unless the creator tells you, you will never be able to understand why it was created, which is more important. And that is what Bhagavatam teaches us. Yeah. So if you look at the inquiry of Narad Muni, he is not at all talking about a chance, about an accident, about a coincidence because of which this material world is created. He is intelligently asking, under whose control is all this being done? So even if he has not seen the Lord by his own eyes, at least until that moment, okay, he acknowledges that it cannot be a matter of a chance. It cannot be coincidence. It is happening under the factual control of a supreme authority. So, meaning I gave this example few times before, but just in the context of it, I'll repeat it again. So let's say a person of say 25 years of age, okay, wakes up suddenly at say, for example, 9 o'clock, and his mother, he realizes that his mother had woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she made many various dishes for him. So he's asking his mom, "Oh mom, what have you prepared?" So she said this, that, and all that. So then this person applies his scientific knowledge, does the analysis, and tells mom, "Oh mom, now I understand. For making this palak paneer, you have used this much amount of palak and this much amount of paneer and this much amount of other ingredients, and you have mixed it in so and so manner at so and so temperature for so and so time, and that is how palak paneer is prepared." And he is very jubilant about it, very happy that he has been able to dissect the process and write down the recipe without mom telling him. Excellently, very happy. He does that for all the dishes mom has prepared. Okay. After a while, he eats it also, and then he appreciates mom for her quality of cooking and everything. Fine, well and good. But finally, mom asks him, did you understand why all this has been made today? Then he says, no, I did not know. You didn't tell me about it. So she says, it's because your father, it's his, just for the sake of discussion, it's his 5th death anniversary. This is in his memory that I have made it. And then he understands why mom has made it. So had the mother not told this child why she has made it, the child would have never understood that. So the point is, the reason behind the creation, only God can tell us, which is what Narad Muni is asking. Why has this been done? Why? What is the purpose? How is it being maintained? And in Brahma Samhita, there is the first verse, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, meaning the cause behind all the causes is Ishvara Parama Krishna. The Param Ishwar Krishna is the cause behind every cause. So if you trace, there is this cause and effect theory. So effect is created because of a certain cause. That cause in itself is the effect of another cause, and that cause is the effect of another cause. And if you trace it backwards, you will reach a certain point where you will reach to the question of the creation of the material world. And then you will understand that the creation of the material world, the cause behind that is Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'll move on to the next verse. Any question? No? Okay. Verse number 3. Sarvam hetad bhavan veda bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu karamal kavad vishwam vijnanavasitam tava. Translation?
I'll read Prabhuji. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. My dear father, all this is known to you scientifically because whatever was created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe, is within your grip, just like a walnut. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Brahma is the direct creator of the manifested universe and everything within the universe. He therefore knows what happened in the past, what will happen in the future, and what is happening at present. 3 principal items, namely the living being, the phenomenal world, and the controller, are all in continuous action, past, present, and future. And in the direct manager is supposed to know everything of such actions and reactions. As one knows about a walnut within the grip of one's palm, the direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art of manufacturing, where he got the ingredients, how he set it up, and how the products in the manufacturing process are being turned out. Because Brahma is the firstborn living being, naturally he is supposed to know everything about creative functions. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we will learn the Chatushloki Bhagavatam in the 9th chapter of this canto itself. And that is the one which the Lord taught Brahma directly. And Brahma further elaborated. Now, this may not be known to Narad Muni at this point of time, okay, but he certainly knows that Brahma is the creator of the world. And in Bhagavatam it is not mentioned, but in other Purana it is mentioned that there was a conversation that happened between Narad Muni and Brahma, where Narad Muni saw Brahma doing some form of meditation and some form of chanting. So then he asked Brahmaji that whom are you chanting? Are you not the supreme? Are you chanting and meditating upon someone else? I was thinking that you are the supreme. So then Brahma told him, no, I am not the supreme. And the similar message he gives in the 10th and 11th verse also. He states there that foolish people, meaning unintelligent people, less intelligent people, they consider me to be the supreme. They do not understand that I also follow the orders of someone else. Now, the funny point is, where you have, don't want to name these institutes, but where certain people, certain cults are there, they consider Brahma to be the supreme. And unfortunately, they never read this particular section of Bhagavatam, where Brahma himself is saying that I am not the supreme. But still, like the worshippers of demigods, the demigod themselves never considered to be the supreme. But still, the worshipper of the demigod will go and tell that demigod, no, 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 you may be saying that you are not the supreme, but no, but we know that you are the supreme. So here Brahma is acknowledging in the subsequent verses that I am not the supreme, but still there are people who will call him that no, we know you are the supreme. So similarly, Narad Muni is saying that you know everything, you have created everything, the past, present, and future, everything within the universe, right? So you should be also aware of how you got the knowledge and how you were able to create it. And Prabhupada writes that the manufacturer has to know everything about the manufacturing process, the ingredients, the quality, the process, the output, everything he has to know that. So it is impossible that Brahma does not know it. And that is the confidence Narad Muni has about Brahma's knowledge. And with that confidence, he is asking this question. And is giving that example of walnut also. So walnut as an example is appropriate from two perspectives. One is being kind of round in nature. We can easily hold it in the palm and cover it in such a manner that the walnut cannot slip away. And on second perspective is the walnut so tightly grips the contents within the walnut, it is impossible for it to escape. From both perspectives, it is nice. So verse number 4, Yad Vijnano Yadadharo Yad Parastvam Yadatmakaha Ekah Srujasi Bhutani Bhutairevatma Mayaya. My dear, sorry, translation. Who's reading?
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
My dear Father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? And under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? Purport. It was known to Sri Narada Muni that Lord Brahma attained creative energy by undergoing severe austerities. As such, he could understand that there was someone else superior to Brahmaji who invested Brahma with the power of creation. Therefore, he asked all the above questions. Discoveries of progressive scientific achievements are therefore not independent. The scientist has to obtain the knowledge of thing already existing by means of wonderful brain made by someone else. The scientist can work with the help of such an awarded brain, but it is not possible for the scientist to create his own or a similar brain. Therefore, no one is independent in the matter of any creation, nor is such creation automatic. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. So Narad Muni is rightly asking, meaning there is somebody who has provided the knowledge to you. Who is that person? Obviously, he's protecting you also, right? So you disclose yourself, what is your real position, so that people shouldn't consider you as the supreme if you are actually not the supreme. So there is one kind of a joke that happens, meaning when there is an argument between atheists and the theists, this joke goes like, one day a scientist challenges God, and he says that, you may have created this material world, but I have created so many things because of which we are able to live in the material world. So now it doesn't seem that we need you. I can create anything and everything by myself. So God says, okay, try it. Can you show at least one thing by which you can create by yourself? And he says, yes, no problem. Then he bends down and, with his palm, he holds a kind of, a palm full of sand. And he says, now with this sand, I'm going to create something, XYZ. So God says, okay, you can do that. But first of all, can you drop the sand from your hand? He was wondering, scientist asked why. He said, okay, because the sand is also created by me. So if you want to create something, you create the ingredients of that something also by yourself. You cannot use the ingredients provided by God and then say that, okay, fine, I have created so and so thing. Similarly, when we use our brain for the creation of some matter, to say that I am the creator behind this one is also not appropriate, because who created this brain? Somebody gave you this brain, you were able to create it using the knowledge or using the brain as an organ, and then now you are claiming yourself to be the ultimate creator. So, which Narad Muni does not make that mistake. Narad Muni is asking correctly. There is somebody behind this creation who has imparted the knowledge to you. Okay. So who is that? Yeah. So we'll go to verse number 5. Atman bhavayase tani na parabhavayan swayam atma shaktimavashtabhya purnanani bhiri vaklamah. Translation. Sumati Mataji, you were trying to read, right? Okay. Yeah, Uday Prabhu, please.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhu. Hare
As
Krishna.
these, oh sorry, Sumati Mataji, you
Translation,
can go ahead.
translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah,
As the spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help. Purport. The best example of self-sufficiency is the sun. The sun does not require to be illuminated by any other body. Rather, it is the sun which helps all other illuminating agents, for in the presence of the sun, no other illuminating agent becomes prominent. Narada compared the position of Brahma to the self-sufficiency of the spider, who creates its own field of activities without any other's help by employment of its own energetic creation of saliva. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we know, right, like for example, meaning just to go to a bit basic here, every species, every living entity has a mechanism of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. So the defense mechanism of every species can be different. So humans may use intelligence and create weapons, or may use their hands and legs for self-defense. A tiger or the dog may use its mouth or teeth and the claws. There are plants which actually trap the insect within their petals or flowers and all that. So a porcupine uses its the kind of, what do you say, it shoots like arrows in its self-defense. So it uses that as a mechanism. So similarly, a spider, for its eating as well as defense mechanism from other insects, it uses its saliva. It actually throws his saliva from where he is sitting to another place, so that the saliva then it becomes strong and it becomes a web. Okay. So in that, he is able to trap the small insects and then he is able to eat them. Like small insects like ant or something like that are unable to escape from the cobweb. So what he is saying is, so Brahma, like the spider, creates a cobweb. Okay, similarly, and he is able to create it. Meaning it wasn't existing, but out of his saliva, he has been able to create it. And because of which he remains, I mean, at least from that group of insects, he remains undefeated. So similarly, he is saying that because Brahma has a lot of energies which are employed in the creation process, when he employs it doesn't need anybody's help. They are self-sufficient. And because they are self-sufficient, they are able to handle every activity by themselves properly. For example, earth, water, air, fire, ether, and all that. All these are self-sufficient energies. They do not need help from anyone else. And Prabhupada gives the example of the sun. The sun provides energy to each and every planet. The sun provides heat as well to every living being, every planet. And sun provides the light as well to every living being, every planet, every living being. So this, whatever he provides, he is not obtaining it from anybody. He generates it within himself. He is the source of energy, heat, and light for everybody. So that comparison is being done now with Brahma to explain his potency. Now, what Narad Muni has not considered so far in this particular, especially the example, is he is considering Brahma as the source of the energy, where he understands that Brahma is not the creator of energy. There is somebody, and that's why he has asked this question in the previous verse, in the 4th verse. Verse number 6. Naham Veda para hyasmin, na param na samam vibho, nama rupa gunair bhavyam, sadasat kinchidanyatah.
Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, it is not created from any source other than that of your lordship, though so great. The manifested world is full of varieties of created beings in 84 lakh species of life, and some of them are superior and inferior to others. In human society, the human being is considered to be the superior living being, and amongst the human beings, there are also different varieties, good, bad, equal, etc. But Narad Muni took for granted that none of them has any source of generation besides his father Brahmaji. Therefore, he wanted to know all about them from Lord Brahma. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Even anybody knows how these 84 lakh have come into picture?
I know, Prabhu.
Prabhu, please tell us.
There are around 9 lakhs creatures which are lives in the water.
Yeah.
Then 20 lakhs are the trees and plants. And 11 lakhs are those which scroll in, that is the रेंगने वाले कीड़े मकोड़े. And 10 lakhs are birds, yes. And then the 4 lakhs animals are 30 lakhs, and human beings are 4 lakhs.
4 lakh, correct. So that is basically the composition. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. There is another perspective of looking at it. How this number 84 lakh came up. Meaning, let's say you and me. Okay. Are we, yeah, Nel Mataji, yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, this 4 lakh human beings means I did not understand. Species.
Correct. So I was explaining that something. Yeah. So okay. These 4 lakhs are not based on the physical characteristics. So for example, I may be brown color, somebody may be white color, and third person may be black color. So we are 2-3 different species. तो वैसा नहीं है वो. Okay, तो इसमें क्या होता है? These are the 4 lakh combinations of sattva, rajo, and tamogun. Okay, So Prabhupada had explained this in one of the lectures. So let's say पहले सत्व रजो and तमो गुण है, so three categories हो गया. Then when you mix sattva with rajo 50-50 percentage, you get a fourth category. When you mix sattva with tamo, you add for 50-50 percentage, you get a fifth category. When you mix rajo with tamo, you get 50-50 percentage, you get sixth category. When you mix sattva, rajo, tamo in equal proportion, you get 33 percentage, you get a sixth category or seventh category. Then you take all of these again and mix with each other. So the second category of sattva raja, mix it with sattva, mix it with raja, mix it with tamo. Then the raja tamo category, mix it with sattva raja tamo. Again sattva tamo category again mix. फिर बाद में जो कॉम्बिनेशन होगा उसको वापस मिक्स करो. ऐसे करते जाएंगे तो what will happen? You will get a variety of percentages of combinations of sattva raja tamo in the various species. And these are 84 lakh species. So human being is the one, compared to the animals and insects and plants and all that, has less of tamogun and more of sattva and rajogun. And the other species have more of tamogun. Okay. So that is why the human life is considered to be the best opportunity to get rid of the cycle of birth and death. Why? Because you have less of tamogun there. You have more of rajogun, which is still okay compared to being in tamogun, but you have a good amount of sattvagun also. And that actually makes one eligible to obtain the spiritual knowledge. If a person is grossly in tamogun, then the probability of his inclination towards spiritual life drastically reduces. And because of which, then he remains within the cycle of birth and death. So this is that combination. Hare Krishna. So he is saying that all of these kind of every type of species is created from you as the source. You are so great, he is saying. Now, this, although he has a doubt, although he understands that there is some creator even before Brahma, he is still acknowledging and appreciating Lord Brahma. So let's say, for example, if my Guru Maharaj, out of his humility, he tells us that this knowledge is not coming from me, it is coming from Srila Prabhupada. So does that mean that मैं बोल सकता हूँ गुरु महाराज को, हाँ तुमको क्या आता है, तुमको कुछ नहीं आता है, I will not come to, I will go to Srila Prabhupada directly. That will be completely inappropriate. So similarly, Narad Muni understands that just because the knowledge is coming from someone else does not necessarily mean that Brahma knows nothing and Brahma can be ignored or disrespected. He does not do that. He is continuously appreciating him for his position, for his service, for his contribution, for his knowledge. Hare Krishna. Verse number 7. स भवाञ्चरद्घोरं यत्तपः सुसमाहितः तेन खेदयसे नस्त्वं पराशंकां च यच्छसि.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Yet we are moved to wonder about the existence of someone more powerful than you when we think of your great austerities in perfect discipline, although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation. Purport. Following the footsteps of Sri Narada Muni, one should not blindly accept his spiritual master as God himself. A spiritual master is duly respected on a par with God, but a spiritual master claiming to be God himself should at once be rejected. Narada Muni accepted Brahma as the supreme due to Lord Brahma's wonderful acts in creation. But doubts arose in him when he saw the Lord Brahma also worshipped some superior authority. The supreme is supreme, and he has no worshipable superior.
Aham graho pasita.
Ahangraho Prasita are the one who worship himself with the idea of becoming God himself. He is misleading. But the intelligent disciple can at once detect that the Supreme God does not need to worship anyone, including himself, in order to become a God. Ahan Graho, Ahan Graho,
Aham
Ahan
Grahopasana.
Upasana may be one of the process of transcendental realization, but the Ahan Grahopasita can never be God himself. No one becomes God by undergoing a process of transcendental realization. Narada Muni thought of Brahmaji as a supreme person, but when he saw Brahmaji engaged in the process of transcendental realization, doubts arose in him. So he wanted to be clearly informed. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. So very nicely written, meaning, firstly, you look at the way he projects his questions. He does not uh, disrespect Brahma, but he also acknowledges that he is not the supreme. And he doesn't state that out of my assumptions or my speculation, I am rejecting your superiority. He says, because you have performed austerity very nicely, so it also means that you are not the superior. Why? If you were the superior, you wouldn't need to perform any austerity for anyone else, to worship anyone else. Prabhupada writes here that the supreme is the supreme and he has no worshipable superior. Because if one is not supreme, then only that person needs to worship somebody else. One person, I forgot the name, but one person from some other country had come to India, and he was asking who is the Supreme Lord. So one Swami, he approached that Swami, and the Swami told him, okay, you can go around to various temples and you can observe it by yourself. So he took a good amount of time, went to various temples. He came to Vrindavan also. He saw Krishna also. And then he went to the Swami. And the Swami asked him, now did you realize who is the Supreme? And he said, yes. He asked, who is it? He said, Krishna. And how did you come to that conclusion? He said, in every temple that I went, the worshipable deity was worshipping someone else. So may it be Mahadev, may it be Lakshmi Mata, may it be Ganpati and all that. Some of the other pose of worshipping someone else was there. But only Krishna, I saw, he was not worshipping anybody. He was just playing on the flute and dancing with everyone else. So that is, although this is not a Shastric explanation, but just a kind of a incident by which we can understand that the Supreme does not have any worshipable superior. That point which Prabhupada has written. So there is this term called as Aham Grahopasana. So it is it is a compound word of three words together. Aham meaning self, Graho meaning assumption, and Upasana is worship. So I am assuming myself to be the supreme. That's why I am worshipping myself. That is Aham Grahopasana. And Aham Grahopasita meaning Upasita meaning the worshipped, the one who is being worshipped. So which is, I am assuming myself to be the supreme. That's why I'm worshipping myself. So I am the Aham Grahopasita, and the process which I am following is Aham Grahopasana. So Krishna is saying that for you to reach to some level of transcendental realization, this process may be good. But if that process creates a assumption in yourself, or that process generates a kind of incorrect principle among yourself, incorrect thought process that you are actually the supreme, then it is wrong. So Krishna is saying that Aham Graho Pasita can never be God himself. He may have started the process with the thought that he is supreme. It is still fine, because at least that helps him come out of the material world. So in the 5th chapter, when Arjun asks him, is Karma Yoga better or Karma Sannyas better? He says, Sannyasa Karma Yogasha Nishreya Sakara Vubho Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yoga Vishishyate. So he's saying, out of the two, Karma Yoga and Karma Sannyas, Karma Yoga is better. right? But both are good. Nishreya Sakara Ubhav, both are good. Why both are good? Because both help one achieve coming out of the material world. So because, like for example, if there are, if a person is drowning in the water and he has a small boat comes to him, and that person in the boat gives him a hand and he pulls him in the boat and he helps him reach to the shore. But it takes almost 3 days. The person is continuously rowing and rowing and rowing, and after 3 days, finally he reaches to the shore. Then in another situation, this person is drowning and a helicopter comes, and that person, the pilot, puts down the ladder. The person holds the ladder, and then he is able to reach to the shore in 15 minutes. Both processes are good because both these methods help this drowning person reach to the shore. But between these two, if you look at it, the helicopter is better because it helps him reach the shore faster. So that way both are good. So that way Aham Grahopasana is good because it helps one person to come out of the material world, to not worship his body but worship the soul, which is still better. But it is not the best. It is not the ultimate best. That is what Prabhupada is highlighting here. Hare Krishna. Now let's look at the last verse for today. Verse number 8. Etan me pruchatah sarvam sarvajna sakaleshwara vijanihi yathai vedam aham buddhenu shasitah. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Translation and purport by Sri Prabhupada. My dear Father, you know everything and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me so that I may be able to understand it as your student. Purport. The inquiries made by Narad Muni are very important for everyone concerned, and as such, Narad requested Brahma to deem them suitably so that all others who may come in the line of disciplic succession of the Brahma Sampradaya may also know them properly without any difficulty. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So this is meaning in line with various verses that have been spoken so far. The person who asks a question is not the only one who benefits from the answer. The person who asks the question, he definitely benefits, but in addition to that, the person who answers also benefits, and the person who hears the question and the answer, the audience, they also benefit. Now, people like Brahma and Narad Muni, they are very well aware of their positions and their statuses, the spiritual levels also. So they also know that whatever word comes out of their mouth is like a shastra in itself. They do not speak nonsense like us. Okay, they only speak spiritual matters, only speak spiritual subject. They only speak based on what they have heard from their guru and their parampara. They only speak out of their realizations, and then everything becomes a shastra. So the inquiries of Narad Muni very well understands they are for the benefit of every individual, people like us, and that's why he is requesting Brahma to give factual answers, not just theoretical, so that people like us can benefit from it. Hare Krishna. So that's all from my side. Any comments, any suggestions, any feedback, or any
Prabhu, something out of the, not related to this, but certainly connected to this. Can I ask?
Prabhu, if I'm able to answer, I will try to.
No, my question is, say we at least myself, we are not we will never become Shuddh Bhakt or something like that. We will reach to some level of bhakti at the time of our death. Now, when the death occurs, whether all the 84 lakhs this cycle or 80 lakh cycle will work, and then my relevant query is, what is the relevance of 2.40? That whatever little you have done will not bring you down to the.
Okay.
What are your comments? I just wanted, I don't want exact meaning. I just wanted to know how you read about this.
प्रभु वो
Because ये
बोलते
बहुत
हैं कि,
हर स्पीकर ये डराता है कि 84 लाख योनियों में आपको घूमना है. नाउ आई से अभी ठीक है, हमने तो कुछ 4-5 साल से 10 साल से शुरू किया होगा. शुरू से जानते थे, लेकिन इस तरीके से नहीं जानते थे कि भगवान कृष्ण ही सब कुछ है. अब वो बहुत कंसंट्रेटेडली हम जानने लगे हैं और वो करने लगे हैं. और मे बी अनदर 5-6 साल 7 साल जितने 10 साल रहेंगे उसमें और थोड़ा आगे बढ़ जाएंगे. बट सर्टनली विल नेवर कम टू एनी लेवल ऑफ शुद्ध भक्त और वो समथिंग विच. सो उस केस में वही 80 लाख में घूमना ही है तो, या मतलब कोई और तरीका भी है कि जिसमें स्पेशली व्हेन वी सी 2.40?
प्रभु पहली बात मतलब ये जो है दिस स्क्रिप्चर, every scripture, not just Bhagavatam but even Bhagavad Gita also, it's a multi-level scripture, meaning it is meant for the whole mankind, and that mankind is actually distributed at different spiritual levels. So a person like a papi person, a sinful person, a person who is karma kandi, who is following shastra for some benefits, or a karma yogi or a gyan yogi or dhyan yogi or bhakti yogi, for all of these people Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam are applicable. So 2.40 comes in the very initial stages of Bhagavad Gita, which is Krishna is about to start giving that knowledge, and prior to that he is giving the information or the importance of that knowledge. तो वहां पे बोल रहा है कि even a swalpam, even a single step is trayate mahato bhaya. So what is that bhaya? We talked about it, right? That bhaya, the greatest danger is not death, is not losing the family, is not losing the financial, the wealth and everything. It is falling down into the animal species, lower species of life. That is the mahat bhaya. That is Krishna saying that I trayato, I protect you from that. So when he has said that if you take even one step on this path, he is going to protect us. तो आप मेरे जैसे और सब लोग जो यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं, most of the people have either reached the initiation stage or have already got initiated. ऐसे लोगों के लिए कृष्णा would not even take us to, meaning सोचेगा भी नहीं वो एंगल पे ले जाने का. एंड इनफैक्ट आपने बहुत ही मॉडेस्टली यू हैव पुट इट अप फॉर योरसेल्फ कि मैं शुद्ध भक्त नहीं बनूंगा, बट ऐसा नहीं है. सी प्रभु, हम लोग अगर भक्त बनते हैं तो इट इज नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ अवर एबिलिटी, इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ कृष्णाज मर्सी. सो व्हेन वी आर सेइंग दैट वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू बिकम अ शुद्ध भक्त, इट इज दैट you are displaying confidence in your ability, but it is Krishna's mercy is not being considered. तो मैं आपको ना एक छोटा एग्जांपल देता हूं इसमें, and that thing will become very clear. And these kind of examples which come out of as realizations from the previous senior devotees, they give us good confidence. तो प्रभुपाद के एक डिसाइपल है, okay, so he married another devotee who was also Prabhupada disciple, and this came out just 6 months or 1 year before आ गया ये. So for many years, from 65-70 के टाइम से अभी तक 50 odd years, they were practicing Krishna consciousness properly, but they were not those टॉप रैंक में जो बोलते हैं ना, वैसा नहीं था कि लाइक कोई टेम्पल ओपन किया या थाउजेंड्स ऑफ डिसाइपल्स है या थाउजेंड्स ऑफ प्लेसेस पे थाउजेंड्स ऑफ लेक्चर्स दिया है, ऐसे नहीं थे. दे वर ऑर्डिनरी पीपल, ओके, दे वर नॉट इवन इनटू बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आल्सो. दे वर ऑर्डिनरी पीपल हु वर फॉलोइंग द रेगुलेटरी प्रिंसिपल्स, chanting 16 rounds daily and reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam daily. ये ऐसे थे. Okay. One day his wife passed away, that husband का. And 2, 3, 4 days later, the wife came in his dreams. And उसने वो husband ने उसको पूछा, where are you now? So she is saying, I am with Prabhupada right now. And she said that just because I followed the 4 regulative principles and chanted 16 rounds daily, I am here. It's purely because of Prabhupada's mercy. These were the statements of that Mataji who came in his dreams and told him. And then this person, when he woke up, he wrote the offering to Srila Prabhupada and he literally cried in that, and he said that I did not have 100% faith that just this basic process will help me reach to the maximum level. He was thinking that only people who have built temples or distributed thousands of books and have given thousands of lectures will be able to reach to that stage. But he's saying, no, the process is so sublime that even if you follow this throughout your life, you will be able to reach to the final destination. तो आप अपने आप, पहली बात मतलब आप तो शुद्ध भक्त है ही है, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट. तो ये आपकी मॉडेस्टी, आपकी ह्यूमिलिटी है जो आप अपने आप को शुद्ध भक्त बोलते नहीं. एंड दैट इज द एक्चुअल क्वालिटी ऑफ अ प्योर डिवोटी who never considers himself to be pure. So you do not have to worry at all from any perspective. तो इतना important question आपने पूछा है प्रभु. Many thanks to you for that question itself. And it is actually good for me also that I'm able to speak and be able to convince myself also about this.
नहीं प्रभु, क्या होता है कि कहीं पर भी जो ये बड़ा कॉमन आता है, 84 लाख योनियों में घूमना है, 84 लाख. तो और जब से वो गीता का वो वाला लिया है तो वो भी दिमाग में रहता है कि भाई भगवान ने ऐसा बोला है कि भाई आई विल एश्योर यू कि भाई आप. तो मैं मतलब क्योंकि मेरे को ये सारा मैंने लिखा हुआ था, तो मैं आई जस्ट थॉट ऑफ कि मैं कभी डिस्कस करूंगा. आज थोड़ा टाइम था तो मैंने कहा आपसे पूछूं कि भाई ये इसमें क्या, व्हाट इज द स्टेटस.
तो कोई ये नहीं है. दिस प्रोसेस इज परफेक्ट. इट इज मीनिंग in 4th chapter Krishna says purvai purvataram krutam, meaning he is saying to Arjun that I am telling you that knowledge which people have followed previously and have able to reach the final destination, and that is the process he is teaching us, and which is what we are following. So which is perfect.
Thank you Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining. We'll meet next week. Any last question, anybody, or we can wrap up? Nahin? Okay. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam. Thank you very much.